Well, the background is the 150 years when it was a colony by Britain. I'm afraid this created amongst the certain sections of the population two things, right? One was big interference by Britain. I mean, it's rather ridiculous at the present time that Britain criticises the system of election of the head of the government in Hong Kong, when through the 150 years approximately that Britain ruled, it never allowed any elections at all. Is that it created a situation whereby Britain always used to pursue a policy of divide and rule. It tried to create a big division between Hong Kong and mainland China. This is why you have the leadership of these currents in Hong Kong is quite frankly people who want so-called independence of Hong Kong. I mean, this is ridiculous until Britain seized it. Hong Kong was never an independent state or anything like that. And although they put forward particular limited issues, their real goal is to try to split up China, and China's not going to accept it. I mean, that's really what's behind what is going on at the present time, and it's a combination of Britain's, or an element in the situation is Britain's sort of hypocritical interference. Well, I don't know, but I mean, what I do know is that the claim that this movement is leaderless is completely nonsense. If you look at the tactics which are being used by organisation of the demonstration, these are highly organised. These people are taught how to deal with tear gas. This is people who are taught how to deal with the riot police. Somebody is teaching them to do this. Because if you find out who profits from a situation, normally you find out who's causing it. And in this case, it's certainly a combination of the United States and Britain, which is benefiting from it. And Britain has, at the present time, made very provocative statements. Well, I think there's a sort of division of labour going on here. The United States is totally focused on the question of the trade talks. I think they may see the situation in Hong Kong as a way of putting pressure on China as regards the trade talks. On the other hand, they know that some things are extremely explosive for China, of which territorial integrity is the most important. I mean, Trump, after he was elected, took the phone call from the leader of Taiwan province and just found out that unless he reaffirmed the One China policy, he wasn't going to have any serious communication with China. Whereupon he reaffirmed the One China policy. I think on the present situation, the United States doesn't want to get itself involved too much in the situation in Hong Kong. But I also know something else, which is, you know, the British government in serious international matters can't act independently of the United States. Or if it does, it carries it through fairly systematically. Cameron, at the time of the protests about 4 or 5 years ago, and the reason for that is because at that time this was the so-called golden period of relations between China and Britain. And he wanted to attract Chinese investment, he wanted calm relations with China, so he had a few words which were said, but you know, it was purely for form. Now it seems to be get involved, and at the same time, obviously with Brexit, Johnson is becoming much closer to the United States. Even Theresa May was closer to the United States than was Cameron, and so Britain's more active. So I'm afraid I think it's more a division of labour than any real difference.